By George, I do believe it is time for interviews with interesting people.
Hey everybody, it's Megan with College Uncomplicated. Today we're starting a new series, Interviews with Interesting People, and I have...
Hi everyone, my name is Alexis George. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and I graduated from the University of Texas at Austin in May of 2012 with a bachelor's in psychology.
Awesome. So Alexis, what's your story? What's your college story?
When I was in high school, you couldn't tell me that I was not going to be in school in California. I was like, I'm going to UCLA or USC. I wanted to be out of the state of Texas. I wanted to go somewhere else, and I was like, I don't really want to be here. I want to go. I'm meant for bigger, better things. But I remember my grandpa had come down from San Diego to visit, and we were all, my mother, grandpa, and I, we were just driving around the city. And I remember the sun was setting and it was like nice and like balmy outside. And I remember like seeing the sun as it set and the colors that it kind of like reflected on the buildings downtown. And I was like, I love this. I was like, I'm supposed to be here. After that, I remember I was like, okay, you know what? Let me actually take a look at UT. Like, let's see. And when I actually looked at it, it had everything that I was really looking for in a college. I wanted to go to a large state public school that had a really good football team or just great athletics in general, that was also pretty well known, and I wanted to be in a place that was a city. I didn't want to be in like a college town because I was like, I'll get bored. I was really concerned about money. I wanted to do my darndest to make sure that I didn't have any debt coming out of school, so I tried to apply for as many scholarships as possible. I was on FastWeb all the time.
It's like every history.
Yes, it was just FastWeb, FastWeb, FastWeb. I felt like my entire life was revolving around college and paying for all of it, and yeah, I was just glad when it was over. Got to UT, and I have never once regretted my decision. I can't tell you how many, I went to like every single like school event, org fair. I was like, I have to find something to do, because I remember that was like the one thing that like orientation had really drilled into us was find a community and get into it, plug into campus really quickly, because when you feel like you're involved, it basically helps with retention, and it helps you feel like you're a part of the institution.
Right, exactly. How do you think college tests compare to high school tests?
I actually found the blue book from my first college exam a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, like basically we had 4 prompts, and like we had to answer all 4 of them. And you had to give examples, and it's like they're worth like a good chunk of your grade. And so it's just, you actually have to study for college tests. You can't, it is not like high school at all, as I'm sure you know. I would recommend, if you don't do well on your first college test, go to a writing center, go to whatever learning resource center that there is on your campus, and learn those different study skills. Maybe perhaps bring that test in there to one of the counselors, the people that can help you. Go through it and find out what ways work best for you. Do not wait until the very last minute when you were just like failing and you're like, oh no, okay, I guess I'll go. No, nip it in the bud early. Even, I know it sounds like it's like super, it's like extra, but even if you go like before your first college exam, it will probably make you much more confident taking it. And that way you won't like just, I don't know, bomb it.
Freeze up.
You know, freeze up like.
Can you speak to some of the hardships that you feel like minority students might run into when they go to college?
I think especially for students who are from underrepresented groups that go to predominantly white institutions, that I don't think people are ever fully prepared for the culture shock that they feel. You get to campus and you're starting to walk around on campus and you look around and it's like in your classes you only see a handful of people that look like you, and that's really, I know that was very unsettling for a lot of my friends. I definitely would have to say that you've got to have, they have to have safe spaces and places where they can feel like they are listened to, they're heard, their interests are being met, and they can meet other students who have the same interests that they do. You have to have things like that, just because it makes people feel like they're not as alone. My mom forced me to sign up. I was so pissed at her. No, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. Like, historically, this has always been bad. Okay, by then I was just so embarrassed. I didn't want to get off the bus and was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm just gonna